Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about which cruise ships to avoid on your cruise to Alaska.
Yeah, we just got back from an Alaska cruise and we wanted to give you these tips because there are definitely some ships to avoid. We saw a lot of ships in port with us and talked to a lot of people while we were in the port, got some concerns and some feedback from them, as well as our own experiences on our own ship. And this is basically what we've learned. The first thing you want to avoid for cruise ships to Alaska is ships that are too large. This causes a problem because Alaska ports are very small, and a very large ship, you're going to have a ton more people in port with you, and everything is going to be very crowded.
Oh, it is so hard to move around some of these ports. They're small cities, a lot of them, small towns. And when you've got 5 cruise ships worth of people, big ships pouring into a port, it's thousands of people walking around, and it just makes everything really difficult. If you want to just do something on the fly when you get to the port, it's very hard to do that. And even just when you're on the ship, booking excursions is really hard because you have so many more people who are booking those excursions on the ship as well.
Yeah, we can't stress how small some of these places are in Alaska you're going to. They were not built for thousands of people, so that just creates a big problem. Second reason you don't want to be in a super large ship is that some of the ships are really just too big to go to the prettier places in Alaska. We're talking about the mega ships here. They are not going to be able to go up into the fjords and then get back out, so they just don't go. You will see that their itineraries are quite different, and pretty much the prettiest itinerary out there is the one that includes Tracy Arm Fjord. That is the one that you want to see. We did get to sail up that. It was beautiful. You get to see it coming in and out because it's kind of a sail up, look around. You can even do an excursion when you get up in the fjord that takes you further into the fjord all the way to the end. And then you have to come back. They take you on a boat, put you back on the cruise ship, and then the cruise ship will come back out as far as it can. So that's pretty phenomenal. But there are limited ships sailing that. And so we're going to give you a rundown here of which ships are going to be doing that itinerary in 2025 because it's pretty important. The first one is going to be the Carnival Spirit, and then followed by the Carnival Luminosa. Carnival has quite a few ships doing them, and these are great choices because they're generally not the most expensive cruises either.
Yeah, that's the great thing, that some of these ships have really great deals. Royal Caribbean Serenade of the Seas is also going to be doing this, as well as Holland America Koningsdam. The Carnival Legend, another Holland America is Zandam.
The Westerdam, and then the Cunard Queen Elizabeth, and then finally the Carnival Miracle, which is the ship that we did it on. But that one's not doing it till 2026, so you will have to wait a year to do that one. But the Carnival Miracle was great.
Oh, absolutely. It was amazing. It depends on what you're doing, what type of ship you want to be in, and like you said, the Alaska cruises, it's more ideal to be on the smaller ships because those are the ones that are going to be able to maneuver into some of the, like you said, prettier places to see. There's a lot of, ice activity in the water all the time, and it's constantly changing, and it becomes almost impossible for the big ships to make it into a beautiful place like Tracy Arm Fjord. So it is important to set yourself up for a better chance of success of being able to get in there. If you're on a smaller ship, the bigger ships, your chances become really low really quickly. These smaller ships, you get a much higher chance of being able to make it into those really beautiful places, and it's absolutely worth it. It's just so gorgeous that it's just something that you don't want to miss on an Alaska cruise.
Yeah, I know you really just enjoyed waking up and sitting up on the deck with some coffee in the morning and watching Tracy Arm Fjord sail by, so that was pretty great. The next thing is ships with too high of a premium on the balcony cabins. Now, everybody wants to be in a balcony, and we're no different. I'm sure you're no different, but not everybody wants to pay double or triple the price to be in a balcony, and the ridiculous trend right now is just that it might be $1,000 for an inside cabin, $2,000 or $2,500 for a balcony cabin, so you're paying 2.5 times the price to do that. But not all the ships are like that. So, it is better to be at a balcony, although we do say that when you're in a balcony, you still have to go up on the deck because you can't determine which side the wildlife's going to be on, which side the waterfalls are going to be on. But it is kind of nice, though, just to be able to sit in your room and see a few things and then go outside if you have something else you want to see.
Yeah, in general, yes, it's very nice to have a balcony for an Alaska cruise, but you're not going to get to experience everything from your balcony unless you are the luckiest person on the planet. You will likely have to leave your room to go see some of the sights. And when you're in, say, like the Tracy Arm Fjord that we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of wildlife in there, and you're going to want to move from side to side. You're going to have to go up on deck anyways in order to move from side to side easily and quickly, because the wildlife just kind of pops up out of nowhere. It's not like you're, at some sort of a show or something. These are animals in their natural habitat, living their everyday lives, and we just happen to be sailing past them as they're doing that. So, they're really great about spotting that out in advance, but you don't know what side it's going to be on, and you don't know if it's going to be, to where you are in the ship. Unless you're in the middle on a balcony, then you might be able to see everything just that's on that side, but it might be towards the front, towards the back, which side you're going to be on. Port side, starboard side, you're going to be moving around. So, you're better off not spending too much extra money on a balcony for that reason.
Now, unfortunately, what happens is the bigger ships tend to have more balconies, and the smaller ships, which do the better itineraries, tend to have less balconies, and that increases the price on them. So if you do see one of these ships we've listed with a good deal on a balcony, that's probably like a home run purchase, and you can feel pretty good about that. The next thing to avoid on a ship is the priciest shore excursions. Now, what we found was not all ships, not all companies price their shore excursions the same way. You may see one that has a certain excursion going for $400 and another one that has going for $300. If you're going to be doing several excursions, before you book your cruise, factor in the cost of the excursions to the price of the cruise. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the time they won't tell you what that is, but you can kind of do a little Google search and see what people have paid and see what they're saying, because the more expensive the ship, generally the more expensive the excursion. Your Princess, your Holland America, they sometimes tend to be more, but not always. So just check that out and make sure you're not overpaying on the totality of your vacation just because you got a good deal on a room, but the excursions were double the price of some other ships.
Exactly. And we're not usually people that do excursions from the ship, only in certain circumstances, but Alaska is one of the places where we do recommend doing the excursions from the ship, because you are probably going to have a much better overall experience on your excursion if you do it through the ship for Alaska. So this is not a place where we would encourage you to say, oh, I'm just going to save some money. I'm going to pay extra for the balcony and save some money and do my DIY excursion. Really discourage people from doing that, because you really could get into, some timing issues also. I mean, you've heard recently of the news of people, being left behind and such. You don't want to be one of those people. It is really hard to move from place to place in Alaska. Some of the ports can be very challenging. It could take a day or two to move you from one port to the next. So you do not want to get stuck. So make sure that you're taking a good look at those. If you're trying to save some money, take a good look at, what the cruises are. Like you said, a Google search will give you the prices that the cruise lines are hiding from you on their websites.
Yeah, exactly. That's something that we figured out, is that why don't they show you all the pricing right up front? And that's why, because they want to be able to charge whatever they can. So if you have a little bit better idea before you book it, you're going to be better off. So these are the cruise ships we would avoid in Alaska. 2025, is going to be a big cruise season for Alaska. A lot of great ships going, a lot of them doing the Tracy Arm Fjord itinerary. That's one that we would look at personally. Hopefully you'll have a great trip to Alaska. Hopefully these tips have helped you out a little bit. If they did, please give us a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. and we will see you on the next video.